Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our All Out Athletes podcast. And once again, I'm joined with a professor of sports psychology, author, motivational speaker, Dr. Gilbert. How's it going, Doc?
Hey, so let's talk about stories today, okay?
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, see, the reason when I teach and I give talks, I tell so many stories is facts fade, stories stick. Listen to that. Facts fade, stories stick. If I give you some statistics, that's going to fade. If I tell you a story, that's going to stick. So one of the most successful American Olympians was Wilma Rudolph. She's the first American track star to win 3 gold medals in the Olympics. In 1960, she won 3 gold medals. Now, about 10 years before that, she was in a wheelchair. At age 4, she got polio, and she was in a wheelchair for years. So how do you go from being in a wheelchair to being an Olympic champion? And she tells this story. She said, my doctors told me I'd never walk again. My mother told me I would, so I believed my mother. My doctors told me I'd never walk again. My mother told me I would. I believed my mother. So you gotta believe the people who are in your corner, the people who, so if somebody's tearing you down and criticizing you, don't believe them. Believe the people who are building you up,
Right.
That's the key thing. Because so much of sports has to do with what you believe. So let me tell you a story about belief. Way back in the 1920s, the greatest magician, entertainer in the world was Harry Houdini. He was all over the world. Well, there was a Frenchman, high wire walker, who wanted some of the fame that Houdini had. But he toured with the European circuses, but he decided how he could get some fame. He got clearance from the United States government and the Canadian government, and he was going to be the first person in the history of the world to walk across Niagara Falls on a high wire. So this is in the fall of 1927. So everything is all set up and tens of thousands of people are watching. And unlike a lot of high wire walkers who use a long pole for balance, Philippe used a wheelbarrow with 200 pounds of bricks on it. So on the big day, he starts out and everybody's holding their breath and he gets halfway across and he starts stutter stepping, but that was just part of the act. And then he makes it to the other side and gets this huge standing ovation. And then he got what he really wanted. All the photographers, picture after picture after picture, all the newspaper guys, question after question after question. He was going to be on the front page of every newspaper in North America the next day. So after the newspaper guys asked all the questions, Philippe pointed to young journalists and said, let me ask you a question. He said, sure. He said, do you believe I could take my wheelbarrow and go all the way back to the other side? And he said, yeah, you're the greatest high wire walker in the world. Yeah, of course I believe you could do it. And Philippe said, well, if you really believe it, get in the wheelbarrow. If you really believe it, get in the wheelbarrow. So you don't want to know what you believe what you do. So somewhere along the way, Wilma Rudolph, deep inside her, because her mom believed that she was going to walk and run again. She didn't just think it. There's a big difference between positive thinking and positive believing. So what do you think of that, Coach D?
I like it. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to, but when it's time to take action, there's a difference between wanting to and committing to. And, that's probably the biggest difference. Everybody wants to be a champion. Everybody wants to be great. But there's very, very, very few in this world who actually commit to it. And that's, as you said, that unwavering belief that no one in the world, a doctor's not going to stop me. There's so many voices outside, especially on social media. They'll never do this. They'll never be good enough, that stop us from becoming unstoppable. And you're saying not even a doctor can stop her. And that's what, not even the opinion of a doctor can stop her. And sometimes we let the opinions of even outside people who aren't doctors, who don't know better than us, we allow them their opinions to stop us from being unstoppable. So
if you want to know what you believe, watch what you do. I believe I'm going to be the hardest working athlete on this team. Well, are you? Did you work hard yesterday? I'm going to study more than I had a student last semester. He missed the first 2 classes. He said, Dr. Gilbert, I'm committing to you that I'm going to attend every class for the rest of the semester, and if I don't, you can fail me. Well, he came for 2 classes and he missed the next one, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want to say, don't tell me, show me. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me what, don't tell me. You know, I want to do that, you know, so otherwise, so I don't believe anything anymore. I don't believe myself either. When I say I'm going to do something, I don't even believe myself until I see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it because so many times in life we decide to do something. I'm going to start working out on Monday. Now you make that decision on Friday. So Monday comes and then, yeah. So because we do a lot of things based on how we feel in the moment. So just because you decided it doesn't mean you're actually going to do it. And so even myself, I said, I'm going to do this. So I said, I'm not telling anybody I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to prove to myself, I'm going to prove to me, because I gotta make myself believe first before somebody else. So instead of telling, let me just show you. So I had to show myself before I can show somebody else. And that's, and I think that's the same with everybody. We can tell everybody what we want, but show me.
So there are 3 frogs sitting on a log, and 1 frog decided to jump off the log. How many frogs are left on the log? So let me repeat it. It's a riddle. There are 3 frogs sitting on a log, and 1 frog decided to jump off the log. How many frogs are left on the log? So, Coach G, what's the answer?
So I like this riddle. We've been doing this for a long time now, and now it's gone around a little bit. It's a little bit more popular now. So there's some people out there who actually probably know the answer. So most people would say 2 because 1 decided to jump off, but we know the answer is 3.
Because 3 minus 1 equals 2.
Right, 3 minus 1, you decide to vote, but we know the answer is, we just talked about it. There's 3 frogs that are still left on that log, because just because they decided to do it doesn't mean he actually did it.
So I remember in high school, every Friday, I took all my books home for the weekend because I decided I was going to study. I never studied. But,
yeah.
So there's a big difference between decision and action. When your decisions equal your actions, then you're on the right track.
Well, thanks a lot, Doc. That was great. And once again, everyone, it's all about action. So if your actions don't make a difference, your decisions don't make the difference, your actions do. And once again, go ahead, Doc. You want to say something?
Actions change attitudes, motions change emotions, movements change moods.
And behaviors change beliefs.
Oh, good one.
All right, Doc. Thanks for watching, everybody. And once again, if it is to be, it is up to me, and it's all up to you. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us this week. And on next week's podcast, Thursday, 8 p.m., we're going to discuss the #1 question any athlete in the world should ask themselves before they go out for the team, before they even start training. So join us for that. And if you need help turning your decisions into actions, join us for Monday Morning Champion. Every Monday morning at 8 a.m., I give a locker room speech to get you ready to go into the game, to go into work, to go into your training so you can ignite that energy within. And if you need help igniting the champion within your school and your students and your coaches and your athletes and your faculty, just email us. And if there's something you'd like us to talk about on this podcast, just email us, alloutathletes@gmail.com. We will see you Monday morning at 8 a.m. for your Monday Morning Igniter.